Now then, Crystal Palace will not play in the Europa League this season after losing their appeal against UEFA's decision to drop them down to the Conference League. Joining us now, Chief Football reporter Kaveh Solikol. And it feels remarkable that what could have been some relatively simple form filling out has cost somewhere in the region of £20 million and a demotion and months of wrangling over all of this. And we've got this decision in, the last hour or so, that they're going to play in that third tier.
I mean, it's an absolutely incredible story. And Crystal Palace fans are very, very upset about the way they've been treated by UEFA. If you go back 3 months ago, Crystal Palace won the FA Cup final at Wembley by beating Manchester City. It was the greatest day in the club's history, the first time they've won a major trophy. And one of the rewards for winning the FA Cup is a place in the Europa League. Now, the Europa League is UEFA's second-tier tournament. So Crystal Palace were planning for that, looking forward to playing in it. But then UEFA pointed out that there was an issue, and the issue is concerning a controversial US businessman called John Textor. Now, John Textor had shares in Crystal Palace. He also had shares in a French club called Lyon. Lyon also qualified for the Europa League. And UEFA said, our rules state that both these clubs cannot play in the Europa League, so Crystal Palace have to drop from the Europa League to the third-tier Conference League, which is not as glamorous a competition and, as you pointed out, could mean Crystal Palace losing up to £20 million in revenue. Crystal Palace didn't take that decision lying down. They took it all the way to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. There was a 10-hour hearing in Lausanne on Friday. The Palace chairman, Steve Parish, attended that hearing. And just 2-3 days later, CAS have come up with their decision. And they have said, no, UEFA were right to demote Crystal Palace because John Textor, this American businessman, had shares in Crystal Palace and he's also got shares in Lyon. So even though John Textor has now sold his shares in Crystal Palace, he has absolutely nothing to do with Crystal Palace. UEFA are saying the rules are the rules. He had until the 1st of March to do something about this. He should have put his shares in Crystal Palace in a blind trust, and then Crystal Palace would be able to play in the Europa League. Of course, John Textor would say the reason I didn't want to put my shares in Crystal Palace in a blind trust by March the 1st is because I was trying to sell my shares in Crystal Palace because I was so frustrated that I have so little influence at Crystal Palace. And he's actually sold his shares in Crystal Palace to another American businessman, the former US ambassador to the UK, Woody Johnson. So you've got this incredible situation where Crystal Palace, who are absolutely not part of a multi-club ownership group, are being prevented from playing in the Europa League next season because UEFA say they've broken our rules on multi-club ownership.
And it looks as though Forest might replace them?
Yeah, Forest are definitely going to replace them in the Europa League. So good news for their fans.
Kaveh, good to have you with us. Thank you. Appreciate it.